It finally happened. Another great anime has come to an end. But did it go out with a bang or did it go out with a whimper? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm your host Shinry here at the Everything Anime Podcast. I'm everything from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and whatever I'm talking about. Today's video is on the end of Black Clover. Now, since the last time I made a YouTube video, I had a healing denture put in. All my top teeth got taken out. I had to take care of my teeth for a long time. And so my voice and the way I talk kind of comes out kind of funny. So it might be a little bit difficult to understand me. I do have to talk more to learn to talk with this anyway. So what better way to talk about this than with this, video with the manga that I love. Now, for Black Clover to come to an end, it is one of my top 3 favorite manga of all time. One Piece, Bleach, Black Clover, and then you guys, if you see my tier list video, you know I've read a lot of manga, a lot of anime. More than most of the people that talk about manga and anime. They mostly talk about Naruto. Because that's all they know. But with me, my relationship with Black Clover at first was, I thought Asa was annoying as fuck. I could not stand him yelling and screaming the first couple episodes of Black Clover anime, so I stopped watching it. And I think I had got up to, when they were fighting it was their first major mission, when we were learning about the Illus for the first time, and the light people, the Midnight Sun, as they were called. And I kind of just zoned out until Austin went demon form. Because I don't know, something about that caught my attention. I knew about Austin's anti-magic at that point. But seeing this demon form of Asa, I was like, okay, let me read the manga. The manga made me fall in love with Asa. And if you've been watching my videos about Black Clover, you know I am caught up. I have gushed about Asa. I've gushed about Mana. I've gushed about Luck, Yami, Charlotte. I really love all the characters. And I don't want to drag this out because I want to talk about the manga. It's only about 4 pages we're going to talk about. Or 3 chapters we're going to talk about. But, yeah, man, it's just been such a great adventure. And I wanted Yuki Tabata to end the story the way he wanted to. Because if you know, manga artists, they spend hours and hours writing their stories. You know, One Piece is one of the greatest mangas of all time. But even Oden is now getting breaks. Because they used to rush out these chapters once a week, that's a lot of pressure put on them to do that all the time, always drawing, always editing, always making sure it looks good. And so Yuki Tabata got to go to Shonen Gaia, which means he got to drop chapters month by month, giving him a break, giving him time to get his thoughts and story together, making sure that it looks good. And so I'm glad he did, because even though the fight between Asa and Yuno is only 2 chapters, it's enough detail there and enough awesomeness in the panels that it made it seem like a worthy fight of who became the Wizard King. But before I spoil any more, let's go ahead and talk about these chapters. So 6 months after the defeat of the Wizard King, Asa and Yuno, by Asa and Yuno, they defeated Julius together. They took Asa's anti-magic and Yuno's Neverland magic to take down Julius. There has yet to be another Wizard King declared. The Wizard King space has been open for 6 months. And all the kingdom has been speculating it's going to be Asa because he has anti-magic. No, it's going to be Yuno because Asa wouldn't have defeated Julius without Yuno. And from a story perspective, it obviously should be Asa, but there are times in the story where the rug can be pulled out from under us, subversion of expectations, like Ash losing the Indigo League, which kind of made sense, story-wise, or I'm trying to give another subversion of expectations, Yusuke not becoming the Demon King at the end of Yu Yu Hakusho, although that wasn't his original plan for the ending of Yu Yu Hakusho, but that's just what happened. So sometimes in a story where you think what's going to happen doesn't actually happen. Sometimes that happens in stories. So I didn't know Black Clover would go that route. Because, one, Asa's anti-magic is the reason why we defeated Lucifer. We defeated the devil. But, is we defeated Julius, the God complex god, because of his Neverland magic. So really, the two major big bads wouldn't have been defeated without either one of them. Could have taken on the devil. But also ended up taking on Julius by himself. So it's like, yeah, who's to say who would win this fight? But obviously, you think it'd be Asa because, again, his anti-magic can't do out magic. So in the end, the Wizard Kingdom decides the only way to decide who will become the true Wizard King is for the two rivals / best friends to battle it out. Which, of course, we all expected that too. Asa and would fight to determine which one of them is going to become the true Wizard King. And I love this panel of Asa and standing across from each other, the two characters we followed since the beginning of the series. Like, we followed Asa and journey together, joining the entrance exam, joining their Magic Night team, classes, and then, evolving and transforming together. We fall in love with both of these characters. Yuki Shibata has written a great story about friendship, adventure, magic, all that. So many characters we've been introduced to, but we all know who all of them are. And that's just what comes with great storytelling, which is what I try to do with the Shinry series as well. I'm really sorry if this sounds weird. I know it is my hidden adventure. I really hope that you guys can understand me, and I'm trying to get more comfortable talking with it. But I'm gonna keep going. As they prepare for battle, they think about all the battles and hardships and friendships they made to get here in this moment. Again, just very cool panels. Also thinking about all the fights he's went through, how he's never given up, how he's always been my power is never giving up. And then it's I went through some hardships too. Me and Asa both came from families that we were both abandoned as babies. When I say abandoned, Asa's mother died, and his family had to give him up to protect him. But they rose up to get to this point in their lives. All these hard battles and strength they got to just to get to this moment to become the Wizard King. And I love that Tabata is not wasting a single panel. Every panel means something. And then we can see the excitement in both their eyes as we know that whoever wins is going to earn the other's respect to become the Wizard King. They're both best friends, but they both know, hey, my dream's become the Wizard King, your dream's become the Wizard King. We're going to do this. We're going to battle it out, Asa. We're going to battle it out, and whoever wins, that's it, No holding back. And I could gush about how beautiful these fight panels are, but I'm just going to show them off for a few seconds. I just want you guys to see how much detail Yuji Shibata put into these panels. I also love the way he draws dodging as Asa comes down to slice. Does the after image with his wind technique. It's really cool, the way he drew these. Because not everybody can do speed panels, not everybody can do after image panels, but the way Yuki Shibata did it, because he has time, he has he's not being rushed and put this out in a week. He had time to do this. And the intensity in both Asa and Yuna's eyes, you can tell neither one of these characters are holding anything back. They are going all at it. Because if they hold back, it's I let you become the Wizard King. I didn't give you, I didn't prove to you you're my rival. Only by going at it with everything they got without holding back like they're a normal enemy can they prove, you're worthy of becoming my successor. You're worthy of my respect. You're worthy of becoming the Wizard King over me. One of the coolest panels is Asa in full demon armor and is in full Neverland armor clashing blades. Now again, Asa's anti-magic can cancel out magic. And I was perhaps his mana protects him. I forgot about this. But it's actually answered in the next panel, but it's still a cool panel to see these two clashing. They're not holding back. It's like Naruto versus Sasuke. It's like Luffy versus Zoro if they ever fight each other. By the way, I don't think Luffy and Zoro will ever fight each other seriously. But just saying, rival-wise. Goku and Vegeta, it's like that. And then we get an answer in the next panel by one of the wizard captains. He says that has to constantly be releasing a stream of mana that Asa's anti-magic is struggling to cut. So it's not that Asa's anti-magic's not cutting, mana. It's like keeps putting out more and more mana, so Asa can't cut him directly. He's like, I have to keep putting out mana just to like prevent Asa's anti-magic from wiping me out completely. So that's pretty dope. Like, that means like, we know has like a lot of mana, like Naruto, like having a lot of chakra. But it means like, he's like scared of Asa. He's like, if I don't keep putting this out, Asa can take me down easily. Everyone in the Wizard Kingdom can feel the weight of their battle, and I love seeing the destruction around them. It's so fucking good. Like, just seeing, like, the way the earth is being destroyed, and rocks are flying everywhere, and they're clashing, and their powers are attacking each other. It really shows the intensity of this fight. Now, the two appear to be evenly matched, because, again, has a lot of mana that's protecting, that's shielding him from Asa hitting him directly with his anti-magic sword. And, Asa, even though he has anti-magic, he's still, going to get exhausted from, like, fighting all this time. So it's going to come down to, will Asa's body reach his limit? Will Asa get exhausted? Or will, run out of mana first? And, at that point, Asa can hit him, and the fight will be over. So it comes down to, like, who's going to last the longest, basically. I do have to give my boy Asa his props though, as he's the first to draw blood with his Demon Destroyer blade. He like slams, into a rock and, bleeds for the first time and it pisses, off. But Asa was the one that got first blood, so props to you, Asa. You gotta give you props for that. But ain't no fool. And I kind of forget because Asa's power is anti-magic. So it cancels out magic, but it can't stop physical attacks. So anything like rocks or building to Asa, it's still gonna hurt him. So as long as you hit Asa with something with their magic that's physical, Asa will still take the damage. So starts throwing all these boulders at Asa. And Asa, he can't block it with his magic. He can like punch it, he can cut it, but it's still gonna hit him. He can't like cancel it out. You know what I mean? But that's not even the worst part. Drops his boulder as big as a skyscraper on top of has to toss his blades away just to catch this thing. And I was going to say, how disrespectful, you going to try to kill your best friend with that big-ass boulder? But at the same time, you got to realize, was paying Asa the ultimate respect. If had held back and not used this giant boulder, because again, Asa can only cut magic, he can't cut physical attacks, or he can't stop physical attacks. If now use a giant boulder to kind of question, Asa, then he'd be like, again, I'm not showing you that I think you're a worthy successor. I'm not showing you that you're a worthy opponent. So he's giving Asa everything he's got. And I already knew our boy would not be taken out like that. Asa is not going down. He's not going to be crushed by a boulder and the fight's going to be over. Asa burst out of that rock, shouted his iconic line, "I'm not done yet." And I love how beaten up and bloody he is. It just shows how fucking cool Asa is. Asa is above Luffy for me, and Luffy is my second favorite character, and then Ichigo. I fucking love Asa. Asa is an amazing character. Love him. In a desperate attempt, tries to shield his face with magic. And of course, that ain't gonna work because Asa has anti-magic. And you can tell, it's like very low on magic. That was probably like his most desperate attack right there, dropping that giant boulder. So Asa surrounds his fist with anti-magic. He punches, and sends him flying. And I ain't gonna lie, I thought that was the end of the fight. I was like, that was iconic. I thought that would have been good. That would have been dope. That would have been a good way to end the fight. You thought you won. Asa ain't giving up. But you got to remember, Asa and are the same coin. They're the same. They're two sides of the same coin. Asa inspires inspires Asa. So Asa not giving up is also not giving up. Burst out one more final Zord of mana. And I was like, oh shit. Now Asa's probably one out of mana. So this made me think, this is the subversion of expectations. Is going to win because Asa isn't loved by mana, that's what I say about was out of mana, but he's so loved by mana that he was able to burst out one more thing. But Asa ain't afraid. Asa goes charging right at his best friend, and as he's doing it, he says, "Demon Slayer Zord." And I knew it was over. I knew it was over because Asa's Zord is anti-magic. They clash, and the next panel, Asa has cut through blade. his anti-magic sword hovering over his best friend's shoulder, pinning down, and declaring himself, or not declaring himself, he has basically won. He beat And I was like, what an awesome 2-chapter fight. Again, very short fight. Shorter than the Naruto and Sasuke fight in manga. Probably will be longer in the anime, definitely. But still, such a great fucking ending. I love this fact that despite lost, and it's sad about that, he's so happy for his friend Asta. And he's the only achievement. He's like, Asta, you win. You became the Wizard King. I give up. You did it. You beat me. But Asta says to his best friend, I only got here because of you. You pushed me to get here. Again, a great story of friendship. I fucking love it. Asta and have been rivals, but they've also been best friends. They grew up together. They grew up in the same church. They grew up as orphans together. They grew up basically like brothers. I fucking love it. It was a great way to end that chapter. And then we go into the very final chapter. 2 years later, after Asta has become the Wizard King, their hometown church, where the two grew up, became a tourist attraction. And now the preacher is like, oh, yeah, this is where the two boys grew up. Take pictures, buy souvenirs, buy our food, stuff like that. Like, very cute. That's what would happen if, you became a celebrity and then, people visit your hometown, stuff like that. At the same time, Nash, a kid from Asta and Yuna's hometown, is just starting his entrance exam at the Wizard Kingdom. And I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, Nash is the one that made fun of Asta as a kid for always challenging because Asta had no magic and had wind magic. It wasn't as powerful as it is now, but he was always like, Asta, why are you always fighting him? You can't beat him. And Asta would never give up. That was his thing as a kid, and he eventually did punch that was his thing. He's like, I'm gonna let him hit on you. And was like, stop it, you're not gonna hit me. And then just never gave up. So I feel like that's why Nash is in this chapter. Sister is here too. I forget her name. But then the nun, she's here with Nash and at the Wizard King entrance exam. Also here, we can look at an older Marie and her brother Gash, who's still being weird and having nosebleeds about his sister. But his sister Marie was so inspired by her brother that she decided to become a Magic Knight herself. So she's also entering the Magic Knight exam, despite her brother doesn't want her to. And also, Marie got him to hook up with Gray, the shapeshifter, because she's like, Gray's the only girl to be into a guy like you that's obsessed with his little sister. So... And, Gray was the one that was shy, and she shapeshifted into that big guy because she was just like, I'm too shy to talk to people. So I do like their couple that's kind of cute. We didn't go to Charlotte and her lieutenant of the Blue Roads, the one that always called her Char. I don't know, in the manga, she says sis, but I love in the anime, she's called her Char. And I don't know if it's just anime only thing, but every time she called her Char, she's like, call me Captain. She's like, okay, Captain Char. Be my brother Nick, love that gag. Anyway, she's having a flashback of Captain Yami saying goodbye to his sister as she prepares to head back to the land of the sun. But we also learned that she and Captain Yami have started dating. Like, Captain Yami is like, the reason we learn this is because Yami's sister says, come visit us sometime, big sis. And Charlotte's like, Yami just started dating. Yami's like, I was talking about the long run. Like, Yami's already thinking about marriage. Yami's like, you're not leaving me. I'm going to be with you the rest of my life. Which, of course, makes her blush. And we love that because Charlotte's backstory was that, those thorns had wrapped around her. And it made it seem like, only person who could ever save her was a man that loved her or something like that. And Yami was the one that saved her, so she fell in love with Yami. No, she didn't be with nobody because the thorns would kill somebody that came after her. I forgot exactly what the backstory was. But I know the thorns are going to kill her or something like that. And she thought nobody could ever protect her, nobody could ever love her because those thorns. And Captain Yami just cut through them. She was like, these thorns in my fucking way. What the fuck are these thorns coming from? Love it. Also, hilariously, Yami refuses to acknowledge Asta as the Wizard King. He tells Asta, to me, you always be a runt. And he's also retiring from being captain. He's going to do some solo work. The solo work, it turns out, is that he's going to be, his own, he started his own corps, the reserve corps or something like that. We're going to talk about them when we get there. But Captain Yami's like, I'm stepping down from being captain. I'm not taking orders from a runt. I don't even see you as the Wizard King. I don't respect you at all. Fucking love Asa and Yami's relationship. The captain in Yami's place is not the former lieutenant or, the shadow user that trained Asa to use his demon form. His lieutenant is now Vanessa the drunk, the witch. I love that. I love that she's like lieutenant and like he's the captain. That's fucking amazing. And of course, Mana and Luck are still going at it. They're always fighting because Mana and Luck saw how strong Mana got. Is it Magna? Magna. He saw how strong Magna got, and he was like, I want to fight you, Magna. And so they're still going at it, and they're still fighting. And they're pissing Notch off in the background. The rest of the world is still very much the same. It's still very much chaotic as ever in the house. The poison guy and I think his name is Nick or Charles, the guy that basically controls the castle that the Black Clovers live in. And he drains mana from everybody else and magic from everybody else. Him and him are now best friends. The trickster guy with the traps and the spells, he also got stronger. He's bonded with everybody in the team. Fucking love that. But we also flash out to other members that have left the Black Clovers. Finral got the girl of his dreams, and he's going to be a father. Finral is Finral always thought like he'd never be enough for this woman that he was supposed to have an arranged marriage with. And but he's not gonna be a proud father, and she's in love with him too, Finral. And his brother, who's no longer filled with hate, is also gonna be a proud uncle. He's like, Finral, I'm proud of you. I'm proud to be an uncle. This is great to see. But Finral was like, I'm surprised I'm not the first one to be a father, or the first to be a parent. He says, and we go over to Charmy, and Charmy did not end up with who we thought she'd end up with. She did not end up with the person she was in love with. No, she ended up with Captain Real, who fell in love with her. Captain Real is the one that has a magic of imagination, whatever he paints comes to life. Real fell in love with Charmy after seeing her as a beautiful adult, and eating all that food. Well, she's now the mother of 7 kids, and she's keeping them kids healthy and strong. She's like, everybody eat strong. Yeah, baby's eating hamburgers and patties and bread. I'm like, girl, what the hell? Love that for Charmy, though. Love that. Charmy seems very happy. Also, we then flash over to Noelle and Mimosa. Mimosa is a girl from, that first arc, I think, that had, flute magic or something like that. They're now fighting over Asa's heart. They're like, hey, we're now in a battle ourselves. Our fight starts now. And it's obviously over Asa's heart. Who's going to win Asa's heart? Because Mimosa fell in love with Asa, but Noelle's closer to Asa. So I feel like Noelle's going to end up with Asa either way. But that's not how the chapter ends. Noelle and Asa aren't a thing in the end. But I can see that being what's probably going to happen. Meanwhile, Sakuri, the bird that used to sit on Asa's head, but was also the best friend of the first Magic Knight, or first Wizard King, she's looking at the sun like, hey, the future's looking bright, She's thinking back to her friend, the first Wizard King, Lumiere. She's like, you don't have to worry about the future. Everything's taken care of. Asa's a great Wizard King. The future's protected, basically. We didn't get a montage of all these different characters, all different captains. It's pretty cute. I'll show it off for a few seconds, just letting you see all these characters and what they're doing. Meanwhile, Yuno has returned from the Spade Kingdom, and he's come back home just in time for the Magic Knight ceremony, because the Magic Knight exam, because he's now captain of the Golden Dawn. So it's his turn to figure out who he's gonna let become a part of his part of the Golden Dawn. And his lieutenant is like that guy that used to scold him. He's still a lieutenant from the first Golden Dawn captain. And he's like, hey, make sure you pick somebody with class, okay? Because he looked down at Yuno at first. Yeah, Yuno was like a nobody. Yuno came from a small village. He didn't know Yuno was actually royalty from the Spade Kingdom. But either way, he looked down at Yuno. But he learned to respect Yuno. He learned to respect Asa, because he learned that class doesn't matter. And just in time, because as the Magic Knight entrance exam begins, we're under attack. And several things happen in these panels. And the first is that we're being attacked by an unidentified airship. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a new enemy. It doesn't matter because Black Clover is over. The second is that Captain Yami is the Special Reserve Corps captain. I guess that's the title he gave himself when he told Asta, you know, like, I'm not taking orders from you. I don't see you as a Wizard King. You know, go. To get on my nerves. And the last thing we learned is that Asta did become the Wizard King, which you already knew. And that is how Black Clover ends. I love, again, that Asta became the Wizard King. It makes sense. It's his story. Just like we expect Luffy become, you know, we expect Luffy to become the king of the pirates. We expect Ichigo to become the strongest, not like the Soul King, but the strongest. We expect Naruto to become the Hokage, which he did. I don't like how Boruto's treating Naruto, though. The Boruto manga. You know, Beyblade, Tyson became, you know, the Beyblade champion. So, you know, I love that when stories become full circle like that. And again, as someone who started out hating Black Clover because Asta was always yelling in the anime at first, I fell in love with this character because that's just who Asta is. Now, in the Japanese version, I heard he didn't yell. But I don't mind that Asta's loud in the anime now, in the English anime now, dubbed anime. I think it fits his character. I think it fits who Asta is. Always shouting and stuff like that. And I can't wait to see all of this play out in the anime version. Now, the one other thing I wish the Sword of the Wizard King came to theaters like most anime movies do, because that movie was great. If you never started Black Clover, trust me, it is not a bad thing. If you watch this video and you decide to start, Black Clover's on like 400-something chapters. But it's such a great ride. You're going to fall in love with Asta. You're going to fall in love with all the Black Bulls. I also, again, hope you guys understood me, despite, you know, my healing nature. This is the first time I've talked this much. So I don't know how this video is going to come out. I don't know if I'm going to upload it. I think I will, because I want my voice to be out there. And I have to get used to talking like this. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really love Black Clover. I can't wait to get some Black Clover figures, Black Clover posters. I'm going to make sure I get some Black Clover my memorabilia. But that's all for this video. I'll see you guys next one, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces the choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red will Reign Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have